Welcome back. We've been talking about whether fintech can truly disrupt banking. Well, what we have now is the formation of what is being promised to be India's first truly digital bank. Centrum and BharatPe joined forces, united to come up with a digital-only bank. They've got the first new banking license from the Reserve Bank of India in a gap of 6 years. They will be also taking over the assets and liabilities of the PMC Bank. Joining us now is Ashneer Grover, the big boss at BharatPe, the co-founder. He's joining us live. He's joining us just shortly after we had Centrum's Jaspal Bindra on ET Now. So you're hearing it from both the partners only here on the market and on ET Now. Ashneer, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us live. So it's official. Earlier you had a provisional license, an in-principle license. Now the license has come for what you are saying will be India's first truly digital bank. Jaspal Bindra has said it will be initially capitalized by 1,800 crore rupees. Now we could see the operations beginning with the 1,500 crore rupee loan book. I want to ask you, what does a digital first bank really mean?
Thanks, Nayantara, for having us here. First of all, I'm really privileged and feel really happy that we have been granted this license. The team has worked really hard to ensure that we went from in-principle license to an actual license within a record time of 3 to 4 months. Uh, See, the way we are approaching this is we are building a bank grounds up, right? And all the banks that have been around would have been around for at least for 20, 25 years. Now, most of the banks around have actually gone from very archaic systems to core banking system in their life. Right? But we as Unity Bank have an opportunity to start building the bank when we have an opportunity of actually taking things on the cloud and making sure all our processes and systems are end-to-end digital from day one. So when we talk about truly digital bank, think of everyone else in the market had to go through the process of computerization, right? First, to get to core banking and adopt core banking. Whereas we are a bank, we're coming out in the day and age of cloud computing. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to build a digital first bank from here.
I have to ask you one question. Let's just get it out of the way. The depositors of PMC, those who had money stuck with PMC, is there a roadmap that you have for them as yet?
See, you have to take things stepwise. The first step for anyone to take over a bank is to be a bank themselves. So it was given to us that we have to get our banking license and get live as soon as possible. As I told you, we have done it in record time. I at least personally do not know of any bank, at least in India, which has gone from in principle to actual license within a matter of 4 months. So we have done our part. I think there is a second step which will play out from here for takeover of PMC Bank and therefore the resolution of the depositors. So I would just say, hold your horses. The first step has been done in record time, and we will sort of disclose the second step as and when we are in a position to do so.
So right now, can Unity Small Finance Bank make any assurance to depositors? You've got the license in record time. And I'm not talking about the timeline, but just as far as the safety of their money goes, should they be expecting haircuts, for example?
So Nintar, as I told you, you can keep prompting me, but I'm very very clear here. See, we have to go stepwise. The first step is to get Unity up and running, which we have done. I think the second step is getting played out now. So please just bear with us for some time. I'm not at the liberty of giving any promises or timelines as of now. So PMC right now is under administration with RBI. The moment we take it over, we would be able to give you a better timeline on when the depositors' money goes back to them.
In the 1990s, Bill Gates very famously said that the world will need banking but not banks. At that time, I think a lot of us felt for an incredulous statement. Today, it seems to be more true. Will Unity Small Finance Bank have branches? Is it only going to be digital? How's it going to work?
So I think initially because of PMC, we will have branches, right? And it's impossible to have a purely digital bank. You will at least need one branch. Uh, but but I completely concur with what Bill Gates said, right? Our belief is that in banking, one should not be dealing with individuals on the other side. As a customer, you should be dealing with a very smart algorithm, and the algorithm will treat you the way it is programmed to treat you, right? So there is no variance on whether you know a banker, whether you know the branch manager, and you can be assured that everyone gets the same sets of services if all other parameters are same. So I think we are truly getting into that day and age where the programming takes over, and therefore there's a lot more consistency and a lot more controls in the way banks get run.
So then what will exactly be a digital bank? Is my bank just going to be on my phone? If I need to go to the branch, if I have some network issues, etc., only then I will go to the branch. How's it going to work? Give us a little sneak peek.
Ideally, yes. I think everything should be on the phone. Your bank branch should be your app. And I think the only time you should ever go to a branch is when you want to sort of operate your lockers, right? Which is a physical activity. And hopefully we also digitize it and the locker comes to you sometime. So yeah, absolutely. Everything and anything that you need to do in banking should be available on the app. That's how we envision, at least, what we want to build at Unity.
The only time you should go to the branch is to visit the locker. Ashneer, I'm going to make no bones about this. A few weeks ago, I was in conversation with your good friend, industry peer, Jitendra of Jupiter, who's trying to, totally disrupt the way we know a bank. And he made a very telling point. Why have banking products not been disrupted? We talk about fintech. Is that something we can expect from Unity?
Of course, see, here's the thing. There are a lot of people in the market who call themselves digibank, right? Calling yourself a digibank doesn't make you a bank. The first part of it is to have a license yourself, right? And hopefully, when we come up with very disruptive products in the market, the other banks should also start, take notice and start partnering with other fintechs to have competing products similar to ours. So not only will we grow and come out with disruptive products, we will take the whole banking industry towards digitization by being a credible competitor. And by being, and when I say being a credible competitor, I mean someone who actually has a banking license and a mandate to do what a normal bank can do. So yeah, I think there is fun times ahead in terms of banking. It's been a boring business for the last 15, 20 years, at least I have seen it. Very few changes fundamentally. Hopefully now things get shaken up.
You want to be a credible competitor backed by a banking license, giving competition to existing banks. What kind of products? Give us an idea. Is it going to be like, around buy now, pay later, or are you talking about different kind of products?
And then let's there be some excitement, some anxiety about what we are going to come up with. I don't want to spill all the beans right now. It's a long journey, right? I think we will take our own time to get things right, because there's a lot of expectation from us as well here. So it's going to be a long journey of the next 10, 20 years. And every 3 to 6 months, you will see new products come out. But just bear with us. And I'm sure I'll be back at your show when we launch some of those products.
I totally take your point because we're in very interesting times. The mutual fund business is likely to be disrupted, at least with fintechs, and is what we're hearing now. You're talking about banks being disrupted by fintechs. We're hearing about how buy now, pay later is, of course, the new rage as well. But Ashneer, before I also let you go, when Unity will launch, can you give us any timeline of that? And how will it launch? Is it only going to be digitally, or are you also going to wait for physical launch, on the back of the PMC branches?
So as I told, should be both, especially with the physical leg coming from the PMC takeover. And again, I know what you're referring to. uh, don't try to get the PMC timeline from me through this question. I think we will see how it plays out.
Okay, so let's see how all of this pans out. And just Palvinder has already told us that this bank is going to have a retail interface, SME interface, a corporate interface. With that, Ashneer, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today live on ET Now.
Thank you.